I'm Jennifer Della Quadri, and this is Subtle Shifts, the podcast where you'll learn how to transform your life from the inside out, one small, meaningful shift at a time. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I have something really special to share with you. So if you are anything like me, and I know many of you listening can resonate with this, you have some inner critic and inner voice that kind of holds you back from feeling confident in your life. It sends you messages that keeps you from standing up for yourself, asking for that promotion, setting that boundary. Whatever it is that you're wanting to do, it's holding you back. And it's a message that you know is there, but maybe you feel helpless to do anything about it. So if you're wanting to feel more confident in your life and finally feel like you can address that inner critic, I'd really love for you to join me next Thursday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, where I'm going to be hosting a workshop where I'm going to be teaching you a simple and powerful 3-step process to become aware of this critic's voice and its messages, integrate it so it no longer controls you, and then release all of the limiting beliefs and all of the narratives that are holding you back so that you can feel more confident in your life. You're going to walk away feeling empowered and really equipped to take back control of your thoughts and your confidence and ultimately your life. Simple as that. So if you've been feeling stuck or held back in any area of your life with self-doubt, this is going to be a game changer for you. So mark your calendars next Thursday, March 27th at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. It's completely free and you can register right now by clicking the link in the show notes. You're not going to want to miss this one. All right, let's dive into today's topic. It's one I've been wanting to talk about for a little long time, but now feels like just the perfect opportunity because as of the recording of this episode, my youngest daughter committed to her college of choice, which means it's a done deal. She will be leaving the nest next year. And here I am on the verge of being an empty nester. This thing that I've been fearing and dreading and wondering about for years is actually upon me. And I thought it would be a perfect time to talk about it because I know many of you who are listening either are empty nesters or are soon to be like me, or maybe it's on the horizon and you just know it's coming and you don't really know what to do about it. So I'm going to talk about that today. I'll end this episode by giving you some tips, but before we even get into that, there's a few things that I thought would be important to address as to why this is such a challenging situation for so many of us. So I'll just take you into my own personal backstory. When I was growing up, I always knew that I wanted to be a mom. Like from the moment I remember even having dolls, right? Playing with the dolls, I was playing the role of mommy. Or I would act out family scenarios. And in none of these family scenarios that I was in when I was a young child was it anything to do with his baby leaving the nest. No, it was always taking care of the sick baby or helping my baby make and keep friends or helping my baby with homework or reading books together, like all of those things that you imagine doing when you are the mom of young kids. And my vision at the time, obviously I was young, so I wasn't thinking into my 50s, but it wasn't anything to do about the ultimate departure to adulthood or a formation of an adult relationship with my, quote, baby. No, that was a role that was for grandma. And most of our ideas of what an adult relationship with your parents look like, they come from what we've seen in our own families. Right? So whether your parents were close with their parents or not, the truth is that this parent-child relationship, it's really drastically changed in the past few decades. So you really only need to go to your nearest TikTok to see the generational differences. Our parents, we as Gen X, our parents were very hands-off. You can look back and think about the times, like how many times did your parent volunteer at your school? How many times did your parents ask you how whatever class was going beyond like just making sure that you were doing your homework and things like that? They just weren't as involved, and neither were their parents. they were operating from the way their parents were raising them as well. And that's probably why our generation has become so much more hands-on with our kids. So a while back, I'll tell you, I love stories. I was sitting at a coffee shop, and this older gentleman came and sat by me. He was a boomer, and we just kind of started talking. He was from the small town that I am currently living in. He grew up here, and so he talked a little bit about what it was like growing up back in the day. And he said that he was in a big family. There were a lot of kids, and when you turn 18, you are gone. Like, you're kicked out of the nest. No safety net. No, I'll come save you. No, I'll pay for you if you run out of money. No, it was like, okay, we did our job. Goodbye. Go ahead and figure it out on your own. Good luck, buddy. Which is just so funny to think about for so many of us. It's like, no. Our relationship, we want to be friends with our kids. We want to watch them grow up. We want them to call us. We want them to text us. We want to know what's happening. It's not like it was back then. And things have changed quite a bit, right? This boomer generation that raised us, they had to figure it out. And because they raised us in a very hands-on approach, many of us became helicopter parents, or maybe still are helicopter parents. Like, I want to do the opposite of what I was raised as. I want to be hands-on. I want to make sure I'm involved. I want to be there for all of the big experiences. I want to make sure my child is safe so that they don't go through the challenges that I went through. It's like a completely swinging in the opposite direction. And the result of that is that many of us have created a level of codependency with our kids. We have this level of attachment to them to the point where we feel anxious when they're gone. And add on top of that Life 360, even when they're gone, they're not really gone. You can still see where they are. You can still watch the dot traveling on the road. And I'm going to be the first to admit that I've had that tendency since my girls were born. It's something that I've worked on quite a bit, so not as much of a problem as it was, but there was a time when they were probably around 8 or so where I had this panic moment, and I was realizing that one day they're going to leave, and then what? Like, what am I going to do then? I don't even like it when they have sleepovers. What am I going to do when they are living somewhere completely different and I don't get to see them anymore every day, right? And it may seem like kind of silly to think about, like, gosh, you were worrying about that when they were 8. But you know that time flies. And it was a big fear of mine, especially because so much of my identity was wrapped up in the role of mom. That was my huge identity at that point, and I loved it. Which brings me back to the empty nest. So when our kids leave the nest, we're faced with asking the big questions. Like, who am I when I'm not a mom? And it's not an easy question to answer because before you were a mom, you had an identity. Your life looked a certain way. You were into certain things. This was a certain lifestyle you had. But since having kids, your values and your priorities have shifted. They've had to. And your lifestyle has changed. And you've changed a lot. Like, you've had to form a brand new identity. And much of it is wrapped up in parenting. And now you're still a parent, but it's a different type of parenting. It's like on-call parenting versus on-demand parenting. And so that identity is like really being challenged right now. If I'm not that kind of a mom that's always there and always volunteering and always needed, what's my purpose? What am I supposed to do now? And it feels really chaotic, confusing, scary, uncertain. There's a lot of grieving that comes with it too. Just the loss of what was before you can even think about, well, gosh, what is going to happen? Especially if you really enjoyed the years of them growing up. So it's like you have to form this brand new identity. And another big challenge that happens is we as mom are like the nurturer in the family. We're the caretaker. We make sure everybody has their needs met. We're the first one to come to them when they've got a boo-boo or when they get a breakup. We're the ones who are there to support them. And that's a big part of our identity as well. And yes, we're still going to be there as a nurturer, but again, it's on call. It's not on demand. And so that need to nurture, where can it go? Where will it go? Which is why so many of us get dogs in midlife, but that's another topic. So finding places, healthy places and outlets for our needs, but also figuring out who we're going to be in this next chapter. And you don't have to get stuck here, but it's important to recognize that this is a moment where there are some decisions that can be made. What do you want this next part of your life to look like? And that may not be accessible for you yet because you're still trying to figure out how to even process what's happening. How to even imagine what it's going to be like when your babies aren't at the house anymore. So I'm going to share with you 6 things you can do now to make this process just feel a little bit less challenging. I'm not one to gloss over and be like, oh, it'll be great. Oh my gosh, your everything is wide open for you. You can do whatever you want. The doors are open. Yeah, that sounds great in theory. But when your whole life has been on demand, on the need to nurture, I am a mom for so long, having that freedom can be really unsettling. Like, where do I put all that energy? What do I do with all that time? And so that you don't waste your time just whiling away the hours out of boredom or just not sure what else to do, here are the 6 things that I recommend doing. The first is to just acknowledge and process the emotions associated with what's happening. Allow yourself to grieve, to be sad, to miss the good old days. Find someone to talk to about it, whether it's one-on-one or it's a support group or it's a friend. Find someone who is there and can listen with a supportive ear. The second thing is turn that need to nurture toward yourself, which can feel a little weird. And it can also maybe bring up some feelings of guilt, like I'm the one who gives, I'm not the one who takes or receives. But you have this really amazing ability to nurture. How might you be able to nurture yourself right now? Whether it's through exercise or eating healthy foods or doing things that fill your cup. Find a hobby. Just re-engage with something that maybe you loved in the past and now you have a little more time to do again. The third step is just to stay connected with your children as much as you can, but without imposing yourselves or inserting yourselves into their lives too much, which is why having a regular check-in day is a good idea, or check-in time, and maybe create some new traditions that's different than what you've done with them all along. And get their input on it too, so that you can spend time together in new ways that are going to help you establish adult relationships and adult conversations. The fourth thing to do is to find a purpose outside of motherhood. You might have a career, perhaps it will be your career, but rediscover your identity. Maybe learn a new skill or go volunteer or explore a new passion. Allow yourself to get interested in things again. The fifth thing is to cultivate a support system. Just surround yourself with friends and family. Find a support group. Focus on spending time with your partner, people around you that you care about. This is also why women or people in midlife start playing pickleball. I feel like pickleball is like a great sport to be able to pick up in midlife because it's not something that people have played their whole life. Like if I decided I wanted to go play soccer, there are people who have played soccer since they were 3 years old. And I'm going to be like, well, gosh, I barely know how to kick the ball around. I don't think I can fit in with those people. Pickleball, on the other hand, I can't imagine many people grew up playing pickleball. So the playing field is a little more even, and it's very social. So Something like that can get you interested and involved with other people and making other connections. And the sixth one is to just have patience. Don't expect yourself to just immediately love this new chapter. Think about, like, some of you may resonate with this, is when you first had a baby, everybody would be like, oh my gosh, don't you just love having the baby? And of course you love your baby, but there's a lot of things you didn't love about it. You didn't love waking up in the middle of the night constantly. You didn't love changing diapers. You didn't love every minute of it. And so when everybody would be like, oh my gosh, isn't this amazing? There'd be this conflict, like, is this supposed to be amazing? Like, this is an experience, I'll tell you that much. And I'm enjoying getting to know my baby, but do I love it? Not all the time. Just like now, it's going to be a transitional period for you. Don't expect it to be brand new and amazing the moment your child leaves. Give yourself some time and patience to settle into the transition. And just remember, you don't have to do this alone. And if you're looking for support in this next phase in life, send me a message. Just reach out to me. I'm going to help you feel a little bit better, a little bit more settled. I'll help you make a plan for what you want this next chapter to look like. And also let go of the things that might be sabotaging you and holding you back from really letting that happen. Just send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. CoachDellaQuadri@gmail.com. Find me on my website, on the social, all on the links in the show notes. And of course, join me next Thursday for my workshop. I would love to see you there. So thank you so much for tuning in, and best wishes for a smooth empty nest transition. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. If you're ready to take the next step in transforming your life, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you today, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts, tag me on social media, or leave a review to help others find the podcast. Remember, the smallest shifts can create the biggest transformations. I look forward to hearing from you.